Hey everybody, I am Lowry Manders and I'm here to welcome you and introduce you to this new little Facebook group that we have. I'm just kind of the facilitator for now, and I'm so excited that so many of us in this community are coming together to pause and think and learn and listen and reflect together. So we just wanted to talk about my goals for the group and find out what your goals are and establish a few rules and tell you who I am and that kind of thing. So again, welcome. So glad you're here. My name is Lowry Manders. I live here in Lake Highlands and I have lived here. I grew up in Dallas. I grew up in DISD and magnet schools in DISD. I went to Spence and rode the bus. So I grew up in a diverse environment in those schools and at Booker T. So that certainly has shaped my view of everything. And I moved to Lake Highlands 11 years ago. And I've been a music teacher. I've been involved in early childhood education, and my passion was for that for a long time. You might have known me as Mommy Manders, doing some talks and speaking engagements and writing, and I'm so excited about child development. I love that. I'm the kind of person, I get really passionate about something and get into it. So that passion has kind of faded since my kids have gotten a little older. They are 13 and 11. And in the last, to be honest, in the last 4 years, during the last presidential election, my passion shifted towards looking around me and seeing what I can do to counteract the racist rhetoric from this administration and counteract the dangers that I see happening for people who are not of privilege. So that's kind of where my focus shifted years ago, and I've already been kind of in this work, but I'm not an expert. I just already have a bunch of resources to share with you all, and a lot of you have great resources too. So this is a place for us to share together and learn together. Obviously, I'm a white person, and I'll show you a picture of my family. They're white too. This is a picture of us in Hawaii to say how privileged we are. So I get that I'm coming to this from a place of privilege and that not everyone is. For some people of color, this is a everyday fight that they're in. I want to invite you to participate however you want to. If it's from a place of just observing the conversations that are happening and taking a little bit in here and there and visiting once a week, that's awesome. You meet us wherever you are, and we will welcome everyone. If it's a place of wanting to dive in and get engaged and share your experiences and share your comments and share your resources and say, hey, I would love to lead a book discussion on this book, then that's great too. However involved you want to be, we will take it, and there will be people that want to meet you there. So if you're just observing and learning for the first time and reflecting for the first time, that's wonderful too. Be as involved as you want to be right now. I'll share my experiences and resources, and I'll be learning alongside with you guys. I want to say just our basic rules. There's a file there that says what they are. Kind and courteous, which I know we all are. No hate speech or bullying. That's a pretty basic. Now, if we're talking about things that have happened, then I can see how that hate speech would come up, and that's different, obviously. Oh, no promotions or spam. That's easy. And the fourth one I think is really important for this group is respecting everyone's privacy. Since we will be sharing personal experiences, whatever happens on the page stays on the page, okay? Unless we decide together, oh, this is something we want to go out there and do. I would ask too that as you're sharing your stories, that you do not use names of people in the community. Now, that's yours to decide if you want to go confront someone outside of the Facebook group or raise someone's attention to something that they've said or something you think might need changing, then that is your choice to do outside of the group. But I would ask that within the group, we don't use names unless it's someone in the group that we're talking to. Does that make sense? Okay, so just respecting the privacy, because this is going to be a place of vulnerability and growth and grace and learning together. So I just want to tell you what I want from it. It's going to be a safe space, okay? A space to ask questions and not feel silly or embarrassed. It's going to be a place of grace and love for each other and forgiveness. It's going to be a place of vulnerability, and I appreciate already there's some wonderful conversations happening, and I'm seeing that grace and love and coming together. It's wonderful. Open hearts and open minds, okay? That's how we're coming to this group, and with kindness, and that you just speak with your own voice. Everyone that's coming to this page is coming from a different background, different experiences, and different place in this process of reconciliation. So use your own voice, and we are not going to expect anyone to speak for a whole group of people. We're not going to expect anyone to speak for a whole neighborhood or a whole school or a whole people of color. Just use your own authentic voice and experience. It's not going to be a place for shame or blame. So I hope you all feel that already, that it's just acceptance and it's a safe place to ask those questions and for people to share answers and experiences and not to blame one another. Now, there are things for us and our country to be ashamed about. So on a bigger level, yes, but on a personal level, if you feel there is something for you to be blamed for, then that might come up, but that's your personal experience. We're not going to force that blame on anyone else. And I would, go at your own pace, okay? So just observe or dive in. A little bit more about me. I've just always had such a heart and passion for social justice issues. So that's something I've been involved in almost my entire life. In the past few years, you may have seen my car around with writing on it that says Black Lives Matter, that says immigrants welcome, that says things like that can, my goal in being out with my feelings on this, as far as social media and everything, is just that it's been my hope that someone might see me and say, oh, I know her. I didn't know someone like her would feel that way, would support Black Lives Matter. So that's kind of where I've been for the last 4 years already, and I see that more and more people are coming there and getting comfortable with it. So that's awesome, and I'm here to welcome you and to help you understand what's going on, and for me to continue learning in the process. And I realize on this group, we are not all white moms. Isn't that awesome? If you're a white mom like me, you've probably been wanting more diversity in your life. That's something I've been intentional about seeking, but I have had to be intentional. It doesn't just happen if you're a Lake Highlands mom. So we recognize, and we are so glad to have some women of color and moms of color, of different colors, Latina and Black women, helping us understand what's been going on in your lives already every day. Also, I am big into Girl Scouts. So you may know me through Girl Scouts. In the last couple of years, I've become the service unit manager for the Lake Highlands Girl Scouts. And one of my big goals in doing that has been to increase the diversity, not just for the girls of color to have great experiences in Girl Scouts, but also so that the white girls in our community can experience diversity. I also have this little library. So you may have seen me through that. I've turned my second floor into a library, and I have tons of books for sharing. I already have tons of these great books about racism and race. And so I'm happy to start sharing them. Some of you have already checked them out and returned them. They are very popular right now, and I will be reading them in the days to come and sharing on my Lala's Little Library story time, so you could show it to your kids anytime. And I'll put it on my YouTube channel on that racism playlist, so you could watch them anytime. You don't have to check them out. But we will start a document on this website of children's books that we recommend. And so I'll start that today, and anybody can add to it, because a lot of people are asking for that now. So we'll start one of those that's ongoing, and we'll also start one for grown-ups, a reading list for grown-ups. There already is somebody that's going to lead that first book discussion for grown-ups. Somebody type in, what is the name of that book again? I'm going to just get it on my iPad so I can read it. The book is called, somebody's going to type it in. There's so many awesome books. So add your books to the list that I make on I'll create a file. Oh, yeah. I've heard so many good things about this. It is called Being Anti-Racist. Is that right? Yeah, Jennifer's been telling us about that book. So that will be awesome. And I have a friend, Tracy Brown, who I've invited to this group, and she does a wonderful talk about hard conversations with children. I had her come speak 4 years ago. It just happened to be on the eve of the election. That was following a really difficult summer of police brutality of 3 days in a row in early July of Black men dying at the hand of police. Then it followed up with the tragic incident here in Dallas at the Black Lives Matter protest afterwards, where we had some of our own Dallas police officers shot and killed. Fought all of that tension with the increased number of protests, with the racist rhetoric from Trump during that election. I knew that people wanted to know how to talk to their kids about it. So I invited my friend Tracy, and she did a wonderful job leading us in that hard conversation and giving us tips. I have put a document on here, the race and racism flyer that I put out then for talking with your kids. A lot of those tips and conversations are great now. Again, more people are coming to this place of wanting to talk about it and wanting to raise anti-racists. So Tracy, I'm going to invite her to do some Q&A sessions with us live, and she is just an easy, good person for us to get her expertise. So I think our first one, I've put on here some homework for this week, is exploring that phrase, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. I've been chanting it at a couple of protests. Some of you have been too. Why is that phrase so charged? What does it mean? What does it stand for? Why are some people uncomfortable with it? Maybe some of us have been uncomfortable with it before. Are we getting more comfortable with it? I want us to just explore that in the first conversation that we'll have. So I've posted the link to please explore the Black Lives Matter movement page, and it just says about, and then there's what do we believe. So go through that, pick a few highlights to talk about with your own families at home. I would invite you to consider joining that movement and just considering where you are in the process right now of being comfortable with that phrase. Oh, Amy Dyer loves my shirt. Yay! That's how I feel about it. Women, especially mommies and teachers, change the world, and grandmas too, right? We have so much influence. I wanted to so I was going to tell you, I took a course on hard conversations called Introduction to Racism online with people around the country and experts. So I wanted to prepare myself. That was 4 years ago, to be a better white ally to my Black brothers and sisters, and to be better at teaching those around me in the community and engaging them. So, wow, I'm so excited that it's happening now. I'm so excited. Please send your tips. I am open and vulnerable and imperfect. So please send your tips and requests and insights. Also, I'll just say that I am coming from a place of privilege. I have the time to do this. I get not everybody has the time to do this. My sweet friend Anna, who's in our group, is working hard every day as a housekeeper for privileged white families to support her 3 kids, and living in an apartment here in Lake Highlands. My sweet friend LaShondra is going to nursing school and working and supporting her Black family. So I know I'm coming from a place of privilege, and since I have the time and resources, I want to share them with other people, and you pick them up as you want to. I get that I'm privileged and that my point of view is skewed. And I choose to do this with my privilege and my time. I want to share with you this book, I Can Do Hard Things. And it's I'll do another story time where I'm reading this to children, but right now I'm going to read it to you and invite you to pick one of these affirmations that you can say to yourself throughout the week. Breathe in and breathe out. Whether it's I am peace, or I am the difference, or I can do hard things. That one. We're doing hard things together, starting today. Mindful affirmations for kids. I love this. I don't always feel brave, confident, or strong. Sometimes it seems easier to follow along. I feel like every page of this book has something to say for us grown-ups in this moment, and we can pass on to our kids. I get so many messages about how I should be, pulled in different directions. I feel wobbly. When this happens, I listen for that quiet voice inside. When I pay attention, that voice is my guide. Do you have your own little mantra you say? Mine is, love is patient, love is kind. But it's fun to try some new ones. I connect with the love and strength it brings. It helps me remember I can do hard things. I can be a friend to myself. That is the biggest, most important thing for us to offer to our own children, I believe. And we model that by using kind words and kind self-talk with ourselves in front of our children. I can feel all my feelings. I can ask for help. And that's what a lot of us are doing right now, asking for help. How can we be better peacemakers? I can try again rather than give up. See a lesson in that? Man, there's a sermon on every page. We may have messed up before with microaggressions or even blatant racism, or being part of the systematic racism. Well, we can try again, and we'll mess up again. I'll mess up again, but I'm going to keep trying. I can believe in myself. I can speak up when it would be easier to stay quiet. That is hard. Have you done it? I've done it before. I've also missed chances to do it. I can say no, even to my friends. I can apologize. I can forgive. I can listen to understand different points of view. Wait to see my friends laughing. I can care for my community. I can choose kindness. That's what we're doing on this page. It's pretty simple. Choosing love and kindness. I can practice peace. I can share my gifts with the world. I feel a fierce urgency to use my gifts and share my gifts because I've just got one life. But my friends who know me, they're watching me and see me doing so much and going crazy with these big ideas I have. It's because I feel this way. I feel an urgency to do it. Basically before I die. That's what I want to do. I can be myself. And I welcome you to be yourself on this page. Be yourself. Hard things can be about what we think, feel, say, or do. What's hard for me may not be hard for you. Yep, we're all coming at this with different experiences, different levels of deep-in racism, different skill sets too. You are you, and I am me. We walk through the world differently. Trusting my voice helps me find my way. I grow braver and stronger every day. Oh, that's a good one. I grow braver and every day. The tough stuff I face is all my own. But I can also remember I'm not alone. Oh, that's one of the most beautiful things about what's happening right now. And to my Black friends who walk alongside them, I want them to know they're not alone. I'm with you guys. And we are not alone in growing together. To my white friends, I'm ready for the hard things I have to do. Are you ready? And please remember, so are you. That book is called I Can Do Hard Things. I have it in my La Love little library. So, things that help me do hard things. My Mr. Rogers mug. He's my hero. And he teaches us that it's you I like. Not the clothes you wear, not the way you do your hair. Your skin, your eyes, your feelings, whether old or new. It's you I like. It's you yourself. It's you. It's you I like. More than that right now, we're supposed to be saying to our friends, it's you I see. It's you I hear. And that's what this page is about. Let me close with one of Mr. Rogers' quotes and look for more events and times to be posted on our Facebook group. Invite your friends to join us. Do your homework and I'll schedule that conversation about that phrase, Black Lives Matter, for next week with my friend Tracy. Okay, does that sound good? If you have something you want to do, put it out there. Lead a conversation. Share a podcast. I'll do a file of those podcasts too. We can talk about that as well. Share what you're doing with your kiddos this week. I have that YouTube playlist. If you haven't looked at it, maybe try a different video. There's books on there too. Every day with your kids to talk about. There's stuff for all ages on there. Mr. Rogers tells us, in times of stress, the best thing we can do for each other is to listen with our ears and our hearts and to be assured that our questions are just as important as our answers. The best thing we can do for each other is to listen with our ears and our hearts and to be assured that our questions are just as important as our answers. I like that. Thank you for your questions. And thank you for your hearts. And thank you for your ears. And thank you for coming together as friends on this page. I'm excited about it. Please give me your feedback. Mwah. Peace be with you. I'll show you the sign for peace. Sign language. Something else I'm passionate about. These at the top and three down. And that means peace. It's like two friends taking hands. Peace. And peace. Be with you. Bye, friends. Thanks for coming.